Hello and welcome to Patched. I'm your host Paul James. Today I'm joined by Matto Phillips. How are you, mate?
Yeah, okay. I have a beer.
What was? You had a stroke just then, I
I
think.
don't know. It just looked like I just went, yeah, just went straight up there, just went dog down. Like, yeah. Oh, wait, no.
We're all a little bit up and down at the moment with what's going on in Victoria at the moment and restrictions starting to ease and all those. So everyone's a little bit all over the place in terms of their excitement and energy levels right now. So I'll give you a pass. It's a weird time.
It is a weird time. It's a very weird time.
I'm itching for Friday when we get to 80% and they open things up. I can drive into Sunbury and I can go and trade in my old Switches. Thanks again, Nintendo, for the OLED. But I can trade in my old Switches and make some money back on them. I've been stretched financially
I can
for a
go
while.
I can go to a shop. It'd be great.
Yeah.
Don't know what to say.
Hi.
So I will say, hi.
I would
Good,
like to buy
thanks.
this. Thank you. Bye. Don't cough on me.
Whoa, you're real.
Yeah, I've just been getting
It's
everything
still weird.
Amazoned all this time.
It's like you're not Amazon.
Look, there's no going back. There's still like the bulk of our stuff's still probably going to be delivered these days. Whether it's game stuff, whether it's other essentials. Probably the only fruit and veg and those sort of things you get at the supermarket might be the exception. But most shit I'm just going to get delivered going forward. It's awesome. I love it. No effort. Some prick rocks up on my doorstep with my food. Don't call them a prick when they rock up on the doorstep because they'll probably spit on it next time. And everyone's excited. So yeah, that's the pandemic situation sorted. We hopefully don't have to contend with this sort of bullshit ever again. Let's focus on more exciting topics. One that I've been banging on about in various patched episodes for years now, usually in the lead into every E3 or Game Awards or something like that.
And we've been joking about it all year.
The lights go dark.
What? 3 green lights.
3 green lights. It's happening, we think. Most likely. Curb your enthusiasm, everyone, but Splinter Cell looks like it's happening. A report came out this week from a pretty known leaker, well regarded. They've got their details. Ubisoft are a leaky ship at all times. If they've got a title that's in development, you always hear about it before they plan to announce it. The closest they've come to actually managing to keep things completely under wraps was the Mario and Rabbids game, the next one that's coming. Light of Hope, I think, if I remember, was the subtitle. And Nintendo managed to leak it on their own site the day before E3. So, go figure. Ubisoft's no good at holding onto their information, and it looks like Splinter Cell's finally slipped out. Which is good, because it's been since 2013 when we got Blacklist. But we thought that as a result, with this news coming, they don't talk about it in great detail other than to say it's happening, and it's quite early. I think we can probably assume 2023, 2024 is probably the sort of timeline for this thing. But we thought we'd ask the question, what does Splinter Cell look like in 2023, 2024? So we kind of come at this with different levels of experience. I've played not all, but most of the entries. Certainly all the ones that people really, really care about, and including the most recent ones in Conviction and Blacklist. And your experience is?
I played a little bit of Double Agent, and I purchased a copy of Conviction for $6 once. I thought I'll buy that.
I love you managed to dig out the prop.
Yeah, it's just been sitting there for about, I don't know, a good 5 years. It's just one of those days where I thought I'll go buy a console. I saw, Conviction, and then the guy asked me, he's like, "You sure you still want that game?" I thought, "No, I'll keep it."
Yeah, keep it. Conviction's awesome.
Yeah, just haven't got around to playing it like all the other games I have.
So with that, yeah, we thought with our varying levels of experience, we'd discuss a little bit about what Splinter Cell might look like in 2 to 3 years from now, whatever this project is that Ubisoft's developing. And the reason I think like there's a good conversation to be had there is that Ubisoft has a formula these days that's really become established in the years, especially probably the last 8 years since Splinter Cell's kind of disappeared. My theory is that we've not seen it because it hasn't fit in that mold that Assassin's Creed or Watch Dogs or Immortals Phoenix Rising or Far Cry or any of those sort of games do, and they've not perhaps known what to do with it. Like even The Division, it's the shared world sort of experience, but it's open world as well, and we're seeing like Splinter Cell doesn't fit that mold typically. So I think this is going to be a pretty interesting conversation. Where do you think Splinter Cell? I know you do have the lesser of the experience of the two of us, but where do you see Splinter Cell being in a few years from now?
Well, the interesting thing, because Ubisoft once said that no one plays stealth games anymore. People do play stealth games. You just weren't making a very good stealth game. Assassin's Creed. It's not stealth when you have to follow someone around and listen to their conversation. That's not stealth.
Oh,
That's
it kind of
boring.
is. I actually quite like the old Assassin's Creed 1 sort of format. I kind of wish they'd bring it back in a little bit.
But sort of the whole eavesdropping thing, like sneaking
bit
around
much.
and all that. Yeah, sure, that's fine. But then they're like, but it was just the same thing over and over again. They thought, oh,
Yeah.
no one plays stealth games anymore. Like, have you ever played Metal Gear Solid? That's a stealth game, and everyone likes that.
Yeah, and
The
I
early
feel like we
days.
could be talking about Metal Gear a lot. Obviously, it's kind of the other really big stealth franchise out there, and it's currently a bit quiet at the moment, but it did have a somewhat modern entry, so we could find ourselves referring to Phantom Pain a little bit through the course of this episode. But yeah, I mean, where do you think they go with it from here?
I would like to see, because it's been 8 years,
Yeah,
just sort of do, like, still have Sam Fisher, obviously,
yeah.
but just don't really reference so much of the previous, was it 6 games beforehand? Just do like a, yeah,
Oh,
6.
look, there's a whole bunch
Say-
of little mini spin-offs and side things and all that. There's about
let's
10 or
say-
12 when you add all
say
them
the-
in. But
Let's say the main ones.
yeah,
Do like a James Bond type thing, like you can watch it, but you can watch, doesn't matter what order you watch him in.
yeah, that
Just-
works. Yeah, I can appreciate that. I like that.
But also just some other things, because
Are you going as far as to say reboot, or just
Not
a story that's
reboot.
detached?
Yeah, just an attachment, not a reboot, not just restart it again. I don't want to see that. There's too many reboots like that. We just
That's fair.
start a new story and just go from there.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Just give Sam a new adventure in whatever the hell that is.
As long as, and to throw kind of one of my first points in there, as long as Michael Ironside is back to assume the role of Sam Fisher, we can't be changing things up again. We can't be having our Kiefer Sutherland as Solid Snake moment.
I think I know that name. Hang on.
Yeah, I mean, Michael
Name?
Ironside's been kind of the main actor for Sam Fisher for the entire journey until Blacklist. I can't even remember the name of the person they brought in for the most recent one. I'll have to check that out while we're chatting. But
I think the actor, when you say Michael Ironside, I think I do know that name. That guy. That
double
guy. I
checking
know
who
that. Yeah, I know that guy. In all those movies.
A guy called Eric Johnson took over for Blacklist. I
Eric.
don't know Eric Johnson, but get out of here, Eric Johnson.
Go away, Eric.
Oh, I found his Wikipedia. Big bushy beard. Also, he's younger than me. That upsets me a lot. Wait, no,
What?
he's active, 1992. He's older than me. He's got 10 years on me. It's okay.
So,
We can breathe.
geez. Go say 8 years ago. He's not even. Was he smoking back then or what? To get that voice.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, let's firstly make sure we go back to Michael Ironside. But yeah, I mean that's kind of the first one, but that's more of a, I guess, a cosmetic sort of thing. That's a presentational aspect. I would love more than anything for them to stick to kind of the old formula, the self-contained sort of levels and that sort of thing. But considering where Ubisoft has gone in the 8 years, I don't see that 100% happening. So I'm looking for a hybrid. I figure there's going to be the open world. They're not going to be able to pass up the opportunity to have some form of open world. But what I'd love is for there to be your open world, and then for each, like if you've got to go, like if there's a story mission that's taking you to a certain location, you find yourself in this location, and that location is a self-contained thing. So anything that's going on in the big open world is not going to affect what happens when you're there. You approach this place, and then you kind of launch into a more traditional mission where you're infiltrating somewhere or whatever the case happens to be.
This is not like a 2K, NBA 2K scenario where you got your little neighborhood.
Yeah.
Hang on, wait, it just reminded me of something. Like Double Agent. That was sort of the same thing.
Do they have
you're
kind of
in-
that open space in the middle there?
Yeah,
I can't remember.
not with the open spaces, when you're in your little headquarters there and you're doing your task for either them or the other people you're working with.
Oh yeah, okay.
And that was in between missions.
Yeah, I mean,
You
in
do
between
something like
missions,
that.
like I could see you engaging with the open world, and maybe there's stuff that you can go out and do. I hope it's not too big of an open world. Like there's a bit of play space, and you can kind of do some side missions and those sort of things. They might be handy sort of things, but I really want to make sure that the core Splinter Cell structure, which is kind of the old mission to mission to mission, it's like level 1, level 2, level 3, and eventually the story plays out. I want that to still be there. If they have to put all this stuff in the middle, if they feel the need to do that for engagement or monetization opportunities or whatever their Ubisoft's reasons might happen to be, I can bite that bullet, because you can still, Like they've proven repeatedly they can make really good open worlds. But I want to make sure that when you get to these various points, when you've got your mission to do, that mission is a self-contained thing. I don't want a Far Cry thing where I can just run in and out of as I see fit. Like I commit to it, and that's it. We're in. Like maybe I meet up with a contact that's at this location, and then I say, okay, let's do it, and we're into this mission. And it's this self-contained space or whatever, and I can do what I need to do, and I can be all Sam Fisher on it. I guess that's kind of my dream for how this kind of works going forward, because I just can't see the old format 100% living. So take that and blend it with the modern Ubisoft model, I guess, is kind of what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I'd say definitely don't go full open world, because I just don't see that working.
Full open world stealth, I just don't see how it works.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right, especially for a Splinter Cell type game.
I guess Kojima did it with Metal Gear, but even then they had the kind of same sort of thing. You'd go to key points and you've got your missions that are there, and then everything in the middle you could use it or lose it. If you wanted to build up your base and those sort of things, you could. So I know there could be, I mean, to your point about, Sam still being the main guy but kind of wiping the slate clean, there might be some opportunities for them to introduce some new characters there that don't go lock. They're not a lock to Master Chief sort of scenario there where someone's taking the spotlight away, but they could build up some secondary characters there, and maybe some of the side missions involve these other people. So you don't have to focus on them if you don't want to. But if you do, you're getting introduced to these really fascinating new characters that kind of expand the Splinter Cell universe and all that. So like that's an opportunity. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah. So would I. I would actually play it if that was the case. It's something new-ish, but still the same. Still feels like your old Splinter Cell games. I mean, it can be done. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's been other games that were released years ago and they've still kept that same. I was going to say Crash Bandicoot, because that sort of kept, but that's sort of a little bit different though. That's a platformer.
Yeah, they're leaning on the nostalgia, and as a platformer you can get away with that a little bit more.
Because then you got Duke Nukem Forever, and that, let's just say, that didn't go well.
Yeah.
I can't think of a recent one that's come out that's had a lengthy layoff.
Yeah. Look, I mean, the stealth can work still in the open world. As much as I wouldn't necessarily want it, the stealth can work in an open world. We've seen it with Metal Gear. Even more recently, we've seen it with Deathloop, for example. Now, obviously, it's got its kind of story thing there. The story is looping and looping and looping over and over, but you can still apply those stealth elements in that open world setting if you want, and you can get away with it. So there's opportunities there for them, but I guess the one big thing, if there was any one big thing that I'd be wanting for this, it's that they still have the contained mission. Any other thoughts at all in terms of? I mean, again, you're coming at this as someone who's spent less time with Sam Fisher than I have. Is there anything that you'd just like to see in the game that might make it, just to your point a moment ago, I would play that now if it was like this?
I would say if it was like something like, I'll say Ghost of Tsushima, where you can do it in stealth.
Yep.
Or you can go guns blazing, but guns blazing is usually a bad choice. Like in Ghost of Tsushima, like going out. If you want to do it,
you've got to be elite.
You got to do it right, sort of thing. You just do it wrong, then you're done for.
Yeah.
But like
I can see like the absolute, like the best 1%. If you're able, then you can do it all guns blazing. But if not, you probably want to play stealth. I even don't mind them bringing the, and I guess it kind of builds on that point a little bit. Like Blacklist, people were a bit concerned at first because when Blacklist was announced, there were a lot of kind of open areas. It was starting to tip a little bit into the open world sort of space. There was a lot of outdoor spaces, and past Splinter Cells have all been about nighttime, or you're indoors, and so you can kind of be hiding in the roof or in the ceiling, that sort of thing, and then jump down behind someone and get them that way. And you couldn't really do that in not all of Blacklist, but certainly some large chunks of it, because they were in open spaces and that sort of thing. And I think that scared a few people, but it actually worked, and I'd be okay if they did more of that. There's a lot of Blacklist I think they can bring across, despite the fact that Blacklist is awesome in my opinion, but it's not the best in the franchise. There's some cool stuff that they did there, especially those daytime encounters that I'd like to see them bring across and see what they can do with them, with everything that's kind of grown and evolved in the last 8 years. There's an opportunity there.
Yeah, 8 years is a long time. You know what's been come through those 8 years? I wrote
Oh,
a
here we
little
go.
list. Two console generations in those 8 years.
Yeah, because Blacklist came out in August and the PS4
Yeah,
came out like a month or
yeah.
two later.
I'm not going on sort of months here because I know the other next ones. There will be three The Last of Us releases,
Wait.
three
Oh,
GTA
remastered. Okay, yeah.
remastered, all that. Three GTAs, fives,
Yep.
re-released whatever. Games Pass, which came out in
Actually, let's be clear.
2017.
Your Last of Us point, there could be 4 of them. Remember, there's a Last of Us remake that's in development as well, apparently.
Oh god. Great. There's been 8 COD games,
Yep.
7 Assassin's Creed games, 7, 3
Played a lot
Ghost
of Assassin's Creed
Recon.
in that time.
You say 3 Ghost Recon games, and they're rubbish half the time. And this other game called Watch Dogs, which is, let's be honest, it's not great.
Yeah, I'm not big on Watch
I
Dogs.
mean, I mean, they could have just spent more of their time on, I don't know, another Splinter Cell game and 3 Ghost Recon games.
How many Far Cries have we had? Did you mention that?
No, but I'd say 3.
We've
I can't
had-
remember when.
Nah, it'd be more than that. We've had.
Oh wait, no, 5. 5. Be 3.
We've had
4.
4, Primal, 5, New Dawn, and 6. We've even seen
6.
remasters of 3 along the way as well. If you want to toss that in there.
6 or 7. I
So
didn't even put that in there.
holy shit. Yeah.
We're doing Ubisoft.
Sandfish has been neglected. And obviously
I
we've
mean-
seen the Division and those sort of things pop off as well. So they're due. Sandfish is due some love.
Don't put him in a bloody another game. Don't put him in like bloody Riders Republic or anything. Or else
He's
I'll
going to pop
cry.
up like 15 times before the game actually comes out. If it even comes out.
Rayman. If he's in a Rayman game, I'll be
Holy
upset.
shit. I mean, it would just be nice if we got a Rayman game, but yeah. Yeah, that's a whole other thing as well. So, off the topic of the game itself, when do we actually see this thing get announced?
Ooh. Does
How soon?
Ubisoft have anything big? Could it become at the state of play?
Oh,
No.
there's no way it's at the state of play this week. Holy shit, though, if it does.
Just maybe just the 3 green lights, just to get everyone excited.
Look, whenever it pops up, it would be like side note about that, not specifically the state of play, but it'd be a good thing for PlayStation to kind of associate themselves with, because for years Splinter Cell was really attached to Xbox. The first few Xbox, Conviction exclusive to Xbox, still to this day it's exclusive to Xbox. There's not been a remaster or anything like that. It's still just
Conviction?
trapped on the 360.
What this thing
Yeah,
is Xbox exclusive?
yeah,
Really?
Conviction is still Xbox exclusive. You can't get it. I don't
Usually
know
they
what
have their
else.
little sign on there saying only on the Xbox 360.
Yeah, it's
Doesn't
it's
have
never
it.
left. Blacklist was multiplat, and all the old games I think at this point are available as well. But Conviction has still never made its way off the Xbox platform, which does give me the shits. I hope that gets the has its Alan Wake moment sometime soon.
Remaster.
Yeah, a remaster of some sort, not with Epic doing it, of course.
Oh,
But
it's definitely not going to be state of play. I would say maybe
it'd be
E3.
smart of them to get their like to just steal a little bit of that association. Like, hey, it's a PlayStation thing now, or 2, however they want to do it, because it's sold
like-
better on Xbox for years.
Say just like Knights of the Old Republic, the remake.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's exactly how you want to try and reframe it, or the Destiny style thing. Like Bungie's ours now. Not that they were, but they locked down some exclusive stuff, so all the promos had PlayStation all over it. Like that's smart stuff.
Then all those PlayStation fanboys will go, "Oh, suck shit, Xbox! Oh, we got Splinter Cell!
Yeah, suck
oh.
shit.
Like, oh yeah, we got Splinter Cell like us. Yeah, great. When? It's just like where's Spider-Man in Avengers? Where's he? Where is Spider-Man?
Yeah. Does it worry that the game's not developed by the usual team? Apparently. It's not being developed by the Montreal team. They haven't specified where. It's just that it's
Oh,
not
no.
the core team. Like, is that
Oh no,
a concern?
it is. Because when you don't have the main team that created, just like Rare and their Banjo-Kazooie game that they got on Xbox, none of them were there, and guess what? It was
Nuts and bolts
rubbish.
is shit.
It was rubbish. So that does scare me a bit. But I could be wrong. But usually with those type of games, when you've had like one, say, company do it for a long time, and then someone else does it. I wouldn't say it doesn't end badly. It's just it's just a different feel, and you can really tell.
Yeah. What about the fact, and here's a little curveball that doesn't affect the game that we're talking about, but it was actually announced last year that there's an Oculus VR Splinter Cell game coming.
Really?
Yeah.
That's going to be
people were
interesting.
still disappointed because it wasn't the game we were looking for, but yeah, it was announced. I'm just quickly skimming through a VGC article here. September 16th last year, Ubisoft has announced a new Splinter Cell title exclusive to Facebook's Oculus VR headsets. The title was announced during the company's Facebook Connect event on Wednesday alongside a new Assassin's Creed VR title. So
That's
we've got
just
Sam
gonna
Fisher
look
in
weird.
VR.
So what? So do people have to do like uppercut to stab people? Just
Oh, for the Assassin's Creed. Let's
Yeah.
hope so. That'll be cool.
So,
I like the idea
yeah.
of just walking along and in the dark and just turning, like maybe it's like a button that I press or something like that, or on the wrist or something like that I'm just turning my green lights on and off, on and off. Just like I'll just sit there for hours going, light goes on, light goes off, light goes on, light goes off.
All I see is just people with their VR just like crouching down, sort of sneaking up behind an enemy, and then they do their pretend choke hold on the.
Oh yeah, I mean I'll have fun with that. I'm just looking to get cashed up so I can have get myself some Oculus stuff, and then as soon as I do, yeah, I'll lean in on that. Why
And
not?
Facebook will release the Oculus 2, and you'll just go, what?
Yeah, there is kind of the trick about when, but I think the Oculus Quest 2, which is the most recent wireless one, I feel like I've got at least a few years with that one. So maybe that's the path I need to go down. But yeah, there's the VR title. Yves Guillemot last year said that the Splinter Cell series needed to evolve before it could make a comeback. Like there was, I don't know. It's interesting kind of to see where the franchise is at. But I think like when he's talking about evolve, I really think it's just we need to somehow find a way to turn it into one of our games, one of our modern games. And if they can do that, they'll be happy. Because then they think they can, there's skins that we can sell, or there's XP boosters that we can sell, or any of that sort of stuff, which, I don't know about you. I mean, have you been playing some of the recent Assassin's Creeds and those sort of things? Like, they're there.
Yeah, I know you said Odyssey had one,
Odyssey
and
had it.
I didn't do it because I got distracted and did everything else on the islands.
Yeah. So,
So
like,
I
I've not felt...
pretty much skipped it.
Yeah, I'm the same as you. Like, I've seen them there, and like they're a temptation, but I've been compelled by the content that they've made, and so I've never worried about it. So I feel like they can still go down that pathway if they want, if they just make sure that whatever you've got to do in the middle is meaningful and it's really true to the formula of Splinter Cell, not the Ubisoft open world formula. Then I think I can deal. Like if you have to navigate like maybe when you're navigating that world, you don't even have to worry about stealth. Like if you had to navigate in stealth through this open world, holy shit, you'll never get anything done because everything's so far away. Like you'd be potentially moving around, you chat to someone, like a key person you need to speak to, like here's your contact here, you go speak to that person, and then he kind of Supermans himself into, like jumps into a phone box, gets into his Sam Fisher epic gear, and off you go for this mission or whatever the case happens to be. But otherwise things are too slow in that open world. But I can work with the model as long as we're not 100% forcing us down this we want your money path.
Or this whole, hey, you want to go faster? Here, buy this small little booster. Like, no.
Or 50 hours long. Like, I just don't want... Like, Valhalla, for example, it's just insane how big that game is.
Yeah, especially for a Splinter Cell type game, you don't want a 50-hour game.
Yeah, it needs to be tight for the most part.
I don't... Because that'd be almost like a 3-hour level if you go to do stealth.
Yeah.
It'll just drive you insane. And if you have to go back to the start again, that's going to make people cry.
Yeah, which is where I'm kind of the mind that if you're going to go down this open world path, that's fine, but no XP. You're not building XP. These are still standalone missions. It's you and the controller, or your mouse and keyboard, whatever. It's your skill that gets you through the missions, so you don't feel like you have to go and do the side stuff in order to level Sam up enough so that he's then able to take on, like, to do enough damage to the guys he takes on. Like, all of a sudden a stealth move that's an instant takedown before is no longer any good because you're not doing enough damage, so you go and shank the guy in the wherever, and he's still standing because his health bar says that he's alive. And then, like that just ruins the whole thing. It's not a stealth game anymore. So hopefully, like, I'm okay with that, all that stuff, but as long as there's no XP, I guess, to force you to grind to make sure you're up to snuff, because that just breaks what the stealth game should be, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I don't want XP. I mean, you can have weapons upgrades, sure. I'm not bothered by that, but
Yeah, it's okay.
but not XP.
Yeah.
'Cause I mean, if you're upgrading all your weaponry to make things easier, sure, but I don't really want to unlock this stealth move that Sam probably should already know, because he's
been doing it for how many years?
been doing it for a long, long time. He doesn't need to learn how to break someone's leg again.
This is not a God of War game where it's just miraculously you've been stripped of your power, like all your powers, and you have to go from scratch again. It's a dude in the real world.
Or a Metroid Prime game where you just magically every game just lose all your abilities and they're floated. They're floated in the world there, just waiting for you to pick up.
Yeah, like we just took your abilities and scattered them.
Scattered them everywhere.
And you find those things, and all of a sudden your memories work again. Like, yeah, it's a bit weird in that sense, but
yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, let's not do any of that sort of stuff. Any other thoughts at all?
No, not really. Just can we just get? I would like to get away from the Ubisoft formula for a little bit.
Oh, so would I.
Because at the moment there was a point where it just felt like everything was just mixing in with one another. Because I know
they all feel the same.
Yeah, because with this Black Flag and Watch Dogs, there was sort of a link there, and you can just go, no, it's just getting too close to each other. You don't cross games, just like Ghostbusters. You don't cross the streams, and with gaming, you don't cross the franchises. Don't cross your franchises.
I mean, like, even
unless it's Nintendo.
I'm still a little concerned because even when they've tried to go back to something that's kind of true to what they did before with Prince of Persia, for example, like there's the remake that they were doing, and it got shouted down so much because the game looked and played like shit that they've gone back to the drawing board to finish working. That's just a remake of Sands of Time. So I'm worried that they don't know what they're doing unless it's one particular sort of game. I'm worried that they don't know what they're doing.
Yes, because you go, oh, well, how can we make this Prince of Persia game go? I know, let's give him a blade. No, that's Assassin's Creed. Why if we give him a gun? No, that's Ghost Recon. No.
Or Division.
Let's put it in first person mode. No, that's Rainbow Six.
Yeah. They don't know, but they forget that, like, they shift through all these perspectives, but it's still the same game at the end of the day. I guess the Rainbow Six ones are maybe the exception, but they're kind of multiplayer games first and foremost, so they by nature are different.
Wasn't the first I know we're going off topic, the first Assassin's Creed game, was that meant to be a Prince of Persia game?
At one point it was, yeah. And then they realised that they'd kind of deviated too much from what Prince of Persia was, so
that's what you don't want to do. That's what you don't want to do with Splinter Cell then.
Yeah, just don't do anything to Sam Fisher. He's already endured enough. We've all endured enough. It's done. This is our chance to get a real Splinter Cell game. Do it.
And everyone just wants to see everything to go dark and see 3 green lights.
They're popping up on screen.
And then
multiple times in this episode.
And the 3 green lights, he takes off his goggles, and there you see Sam. And I don't know what's next after that.
And then that's it. He goes and shanks someone or disappears into the darkness, turns his lights off and hides. Like a deal. Just give it to me. It's time. We've waited long enough. I can't believe we're actually saying this. Like, after all these years of patched episodes, it's happening.
And then, when he puts up his little goggle things, you hear the voice of Michael Ironside.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, actually throw us that bone too. Don't leave us waiting for that.
And that's it. And then that's all your trailer. See? That's all you need. Just give hope for people that there is.
They don't even need to do a big proper trailer. They can just drop that teaser. Yeah, okay, let's do it at the State of Play this week. Why not? It's happening. 3 green lights, Michael Ironside's voice. That's it. See, doesn't even have to say Splinter Cell.
Just do what Sony did. Was it last year with their God of War
logo? That's it.
Logo. That was it, and everyone went nuts for it.
I went nuts.
It was like, everyone was going crazy for just the logo, and then everyone was blaming again Alana Pierce because it got delayed till 2022.
Yeah,
or whatever
and
it is.
It's not her fault. We learned whose fault it was, And if you're blaming him for it, you're an arsehole.
Oh, this guy.
Don't tell me you're whipping out some Stargate stuff. Oh, Corey Barlog, Mario.
Oh no, hang on. Wait, it's like Scooby Doo for a second. Wait, that's not Mario.
You need to move it more
Corey
in front of your head, remember?
Oh yeah.
Corey Barlog, you're the reason. No. We'll keep Mario there for the rest of the episode. All right, that's where we're going to wrap things up. We've been rambling about Splinter Cell and just very loosely for a long time. If you enjoyed this episode...
Just Ubisoft, just give Paul what he wants. He's been waiting 8 long years for this.
Yeah, and while we're at it, BioWare, if you can...
He keeps seeing lights everywhere. He sees it, goes to traffic lights. He sees it go green. He thinks, oh no, it's just go.
It's just one. Shit.
It's just one green light.
While we're at it, BioWare give Matt Hewson Jade Empire. Matto, what do you want?
I don't know. A PS5.
Yeah, okay. Sony, send him a PlayStation. I'll hit him up. No,
I'll give you a fridge. A fridge or...
Xbox, give me the fridge, damn it. Elsewhere, not just Australia. We'll wrap things up there, though. One thing that I guess people will note is that this wasn't our updates episode. We usually do save that for the end of the month. We realised only moments before we started recording that this should have actually been the updates episode, so we'll do that next week. If you enjoyed this episode of Patched, please be sure to like, share, subscribe. All the buttons are down below. Hit the notification bell. That way you're alerted to every new video the moment it goes live on the channel. That includes more Patched, Player 2 Plays, Gamer School, and a whole bunch more. Lots of review discussions and spoiler casts and all those sort of things. We've in the last, I think since our last episode, we've had a Psychonauts 2 spoiler cast. We've had review discussions for both Metroid and Crisis Trilogy Remastered. I've got one coming up with Ryan Betson for Story of Seasons, another one that is embargoed until later this week, and potentially another one that's also embargoed this week too. Like, might be up before patch goes up. We'll see.
We're going down a different path here. We've gone from just regular chats of video games to cooking videos and
16 episodes a week.
And game discussions.
Why not? It's good shit. People subscribe. Go check the stuff on the YouTube channel and, of course, the audio versions here on the Patched feed.
And some guy called Doug didn't like me. No, not really.
Doug loves you. We've just got to wait for the right game. Doug, if you're watching or listening, I don't know. Can you send me a code to pass on to Matto? I don't care what it is. Give him...
You can give me just a thing that's just white.
My name is Pedro. That'll do. Send him my name is Pedro, just because.
Or you can just send me a game with just a white space with a black dot in the middle.
Yeah, that'll use me for hours. Pulse. Yeah, that'll keep
watch me go.
Visit the website player2.net.au for reviews, previews, opinion pieces, links to the podcast series, Patch, the Player 2 Pixelcast, and Dev Diary. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/player2au. Kick a few bucks. Lower tiers, early access. Higher tiers, multi-episode exclusives. And then finally, the Twitter. Matto?
Matto_Phil.
Paul James Games for me. The website's player2au. And until next time, put your helmets on. 3 green lights. We'll see you in a couple of years with the final product.
Oh, God. I'll see you in a few years.